Hello and welcome to the handover of the Elddis Avante 576. This is the 2015 model. Just going outside. I will go around in a bit more detail just to highlight everything you will need to know on this handover. Start at the back. Okay, so we've got the light clusters on both sides and a top brake light. Light clusters are for indicators, brake lights, reversing lights. Space for this is where your number plate will be attached, and at the bottom you can see corner seddies on both sides. You have a corner seddy brace within the front gas locker to be able to lift those up. Along on the outside, we've got two windows, some running lights. These are the windows for the bunks. So down here we've got the waste pipe area. Basically this is where all your grey waste, which would be the water from your sinks and the shower, comes out there and goes into the waste master if you have ordered a starter pack. Looking up, you've got the vent for the microwave, the kitchen level, and then you've got two vents for the fridge and the freezer. Down to the alloy wheels. The torque setting for these wheels is 130 Newton meters, and we recommend torquing up before every journey. On this particular one, we've got the Power Touch Evolution manual engage motor mover, and we'll briefly go through that at the end, towards the end of the video, just to show you how to use that. Okay, coming over now, starting to get to the important bits. This is your water intake area. Basis of the story is the flap. Try to get it down, lift that up, put the water pump in this direction, this whale water pump, and then slide that down just to clip it in. The pipe then goes into your aqua roll, and the cover goes on to prevent any detritus going inside your water. Okay, when you need refilling, just take the pipe out, and you've got a little area on here where you can clip the pipe in to stop it falling onto the floor, and then just take your water away. Okay, there we have the exhaust system for the heating if you were to run on the gas thing. There's heating on here, runs on gas and electric, so that's the exhaust there. And again, corner steadies on each side. Towards the front, okay, you've got the three windows on the Avante, centre window, all windows open, and you have your gas locker here. Within the gas locker, you can carry two gas bottles. I will open the locker up now. For ease of use, I've actually already unlocked one side. Okay, within the gas locker here, you've got two pipes, two gas pigtails, both set up for propane. Inside, you've got plenty of room in here. You've got a wheel brace. You don't want to keep your water pump in here, and anything else you want to do. Anything else you want to keep in here. Okay. Right. This particular caravan runs on the Alco chassis. It's got the Alco ATC, which is Alco trailer control. Basically, that has a little sensor underneath the chassis, and should the caravan start to snake, we'll apply the brakes on the caravan to stabilise it. Very good system. Okay. Continuing around the outside, and we get to the battery locker. In the battery locker, odd enough, a battery and your electric cable plug in. You see behind the plug, there's the cable. There's also a 230-volt socket, and this here is the isolator for the motor mover. Again, we'll show you that. I'll show you that part a bit later on. With the motor mover, it's placed there, so you cannot engage the motor mover while your electric cable is plugged in. Okay. Then continuing around the outside, use it as a door, which is quite useful. Right, here towards the end, this is where we've got the toilet area. That's not the toilet itself. The top part is where the pink fluid goes in. Goes in there. A small amount of pink fluid diluted with water, and that's to enable the flush side on the toilet. The actual toilet cassette itself is located in here. Like I say, I've already unlocked it for ease of use. It's the standard depth of the toilet. To remove the cassette, lift up this orange lever, hold the thumb down and then pull it out. And literally then just take it out. It does have a handle on it, so you can wheel away your cartridge to the chemical disposal point. When you get there, to empty this out, this top comes off, empty that, lift over the chemical toilet area and press that, and that will help everything flow out. That releases any air pressure in there. To clean out the cassette, this slides back and opens as such. Okay, then you can rinse out to your heart's content. You will see in there, there's a little float. That float in there, well, when the cassette is full, that float was put off a sensor within the caravan to tell you that the toilet is full. When putting this back in, you must close that up as such. Blue fluid goes in here in the cap. Okay. Okay, these caps do have markings on to show how much fluid to put in. Depending on which make of fluid you have, you can read the instructions on the bottle to tell you how much to use and how much water to go in to dilute it. Okay, to put this back in, simply pushes in and slides. You also have in here a little pipe. So when you're winterizing your caravan, you'll need to empty the pink fluid, any that's remaining in there, because we don't want that freezing up. Literally, that pipe, take out that bung and empty the fluid in there, just using gravity. Okay. At this point, that's pretty much everything for the outside of the caravan. Awning rail there, if you've ordered an awning. We shall go into the caravan itself in just a minute. Okay, so entering into the caravan itself, glad to be doing that because it's quite chilly out today. Through the door, straight in front of you, you'll see the bunk beds. And as you come into the door, on the left hand side is the control panel. Okay, so this switch is your master switch. That turns on the main power. You probably notice the lights come on because of the light. I've got the light switches on. I'll show you that in a minute. That's the main light switches. We have individual switches for lights in here. And this one is for the awning light outside. Okay, this control panel, the whale control panel, is for your heating and hot water. And it also shows how much battery power is in the battery. I mean, we're currently inside and we've got the electricity point plugged in, so it's showing at 13.5 volts, which means everything is absolutely running fine. Okay, firstly then, this one, temperature. This is to set the temperature within the caravan. Now you can use electricity at 650 watts. Basically that's a bit of a slow burn. 1300 watts or 2600 watts, depending on how much you have available to you in the power supply on the pole. You can also use gas and electric, or switch off. Okay, so with this you can also have just the fan going. So in summertime when it's quite warm outside and you just want some air blowing around, press on for the fan to go around. Okay, above here the temperature, that shows what temperature you would like the interior of your caravan to be. I would recommend 21. I did put it up to 28 for a quick burst just to warm everything up in here and just to make sure everything works away, and I'm happy to say that it does. You also have a frost-free setting, which basically means that as long as you have electricity plugged in, you can make a temperature, I think it's about 6 or 7 degrees, just to prevent any freezing up. To go back to the main menu, there's a little button around here. Press that and that will take you to the next part of the menu. The next one is for your water heater, currently all off. You can go to 750 watts, 3.25 amps for the heating to go off. Okay, back there. You have a timer. You also, this pump, when it says pump, press that for the water pump, as in what we just checked earlier on outside, to make that active. That would then turn the water pump on. You also have settings. So installer, water timer, set the clock and options. You've got a manual with this. You feel free to go through it at your own leisure. Okay, very simple system, very effective. So happy days. I'll just turn that off now. All right, okay. Going into the caravan itself, let's have a quick look around. Enough storage for anyone to put as much clutter as you want. Although I would say anything high up, keep of a very low weight. With a caravan, always put anything heavy over the axles in the middle on the floor. You don't want anything heavy high up. Okay. Right. So we have a dinette, a nice sized dinette for sitting inside and enjoying your meals, and the sofas that turn into a large bed on the at the end. For your TV, there's already a bracket on here, but your TV aerial point is inside this cupboard. You have a 230 volt socket and a 12 volt socket, as well as an aerial antenna, and there's a little slot that goes down through here for the TV. Also in here we have a radio CD player, obviously very useful, and as much, like I say, as much storage as you want. Down at the front we've got obviously the windows. We have, each of the windows has a fly screen and a blackout blind. All of them have got that, just to make sure you're either very dark at night, or if you do have the windows open when it's warm, that no bugs get in. Down here we have a table. Comes out like that, very handy for a cup of tea in the morning or a glass of wine in the evening. A couple of handy drawers as required. Now, I said earlier about the water system. Underneath the right hand sofa, see under there, there's the water heater, and you've also got a gas isolator here. If you're using propane, you can turn the gas off at the bottles. At that point there's probably no need to use the isolators, but you can if you want. Right over there in the corner you can see a yellow valve for the this is to get the water in or out of the caravan. Okay, so when traveling, I always say drain all water from the van by putting that to the vertical position. Then that will just drain all the water out from here. Then turn that valve to the horizontal when you want water to come into the caravan. Okay, on the other side underneath the sofa is the fuse box and the trip switches. So if anything doesn't work electrically, first thing I would do is check to see if all the trip switches are in the correct position, or check a fuse. Again, this blue box here, this is all part of your motor mover. Nothing to worry about on that side of things. Okay, move into the kitchen area. Right, so we have the Dometic fridge. Okay, this is the power on switch. I'll just demonstrate that. Switch that off and switch it back on as such. This setting is for when you're plugged into your electricity. So the fridge is working off the mains electricity. You can set it to work on gas if you don't have any electricity available. Press that and it will then fire up. Now, right, it's beeping at the moment. That's because we do not have any gas available. And for travelling, as long as the fridge is already cold, that part will then run off the car battery with the alternator on the car. Obviously, we're not connected to anything at the moment, so back onto the electricity. So that's fun. So basically, with the alternator side of things, if the fridge is already cold and you plug it in on the 13 plug, as long as you've got 13 plug socket on your tow bar, that should keep the fridge cool. It won't cool it down from start, but it will keep it cool. It will maintain the temperature. And talking of temperatures, the temperature of your fridge can be adjusted using this side. Okay, to whatever setting you prefer. Inside the fridge, nice size fridge, bright blue light, nice big freezer compartment, which can be removed if you just want a bigger fridge. It depends how much ice you want in your gin and tonic. Okay, now above the fridge we've got 2 electric sockets for, say, your toaster, coffee maker, kettle, whatever you use. Cupboards to keep your plates, etc. There's an isolator switch there for the microwave. Microwave being here, it's one of the eco microwaves, so it turns itself off. Then to switch it back on, press eco and your microwave is ready to use. I'm not going to teach you how to use a microwave. All those details are in the manual. Okay, now the Thetford Aspire 2 cooker. You have an electric hob and 3 gas burners. I would say if you're plugged into electric, you would only probably use the electric hob if you didn't need much heating up. It's entirely up to you. However, also here you have a full-size grill and oven for all your culinary needs. Bear in mind this glass top needs to be fully up for the burners to work. Do not put them down whilst your hob may be hot. Okay, now we've got a cupboard with some cushions there. If you were making up the dinette into a bed, you've also got a freestanding table in here. There's your draining board, I should say, and this is an extra hanger for inside here should you require it. 2 bunks, obviously windows, blinds, etc. on all those, and each one has an individual light, if the child would like to read. Okay, going into the bathroom. Well, that's me beeping the fridge. Make sure you close the fridge properly, fully, otherwise it will beep at you to say that the door is open a bit. Okay, into the bathroom. Nice sized bathroom and shower. I'm not going to show you my reflection in the mirror. I don't want to scare you all too much. But this is the space where I was saying that the light comes on in the toilet. That will shine up to say that the toilet requires emptying. Guarantee that will be just as you're about to go to bed. But internally, of course, if you want to lock the world out, once the door's shut, just lock that, that's fine. You also have blinds on here. Useful bin. And that, my friends, is about that for the 576. In a short while, I will get outside and show you the motor mover. Actually, before I go, forgot to mention, in here you also have a carbon monoxide and an alarm, a smoke alarm in here as well. Okay, with the skylights, to use these, press that down, pull them down and pull across, but always make sure that when you're traveling that they are shut correctly, fully and correctly. Obviously, you can always give us a call on 01373 752 100 here at Wiltshire Caravans, should you have any questions that aren't covered in this video, or if you can't find them in the manual. Anyway, back to the outside. See you soon. Okay, we're back outside now to demonstrate the motor mover. First thing you will need to do is lift the legs, the corner steadies, as if I can demonstrate this right. So your wheel winder goes in there, and then obviously turn to lift. Once all are done, get the winder back into it. We'll then talk about the motor mover itself. So the motor mover, the couple of components that we need to talk about. Firstly, this key goes into the socket, push in and twist it until it stops. That has now put power to your motor mover. Okay. Motor mover there. Once we have the power to the motor mover, we need to engage the motor mover itself onto the wheel. Now, to do this, you have a brace, which is quite difficult one-handed, goes onto the motor mover as such until it's fully engaged, and then you bring the motor mover manually over until you hear that clunk. That clunk means that you can now see here the wheel of the motor mover is attached to the tyre. Okay, I'm not going to actually make the motor mover move at the moment, but I will just demonstrate how it works on the remote control. Now, to disengage, once you finish moving your caravan around, literally just put it up and over until you hear that clunk. The motor mover luckily works on both sides, so you only have to do that on one side, not on both. Okay. So, when your motor mover is engaged, your corner steadies are all up, you then need to take the handbrake off. Here, just push that straight down and that will release the handbrake. But you're not going to go anywhere because your wheels are held in clamp by the motor mover itself. The control, remote control, is here. Okay. Now to switch power on, you need to press both green buttons. So we'll go for a quick diagnostic, and you want to have a solid, once you've got a solid green bar in that light, the motor mover will then work. This red outline is the shape of your caravan. So that at the front is your A-frame. Okay, to move that towards you, you would literally just press this button. You can hear that moving, you can hear the rollers moving. Obviously they're not attached, however I can show you by pressing the button and you can see those moving. Likewise, this takes it backwards. This will then bring this to the side. It doesn't You would think that turns it to the left from the front. It doesn't. It turns it to the right from the front, etc. It only moves at 1 mile an hour. You don't have to worry about the orange button in the middle or the two at the top. They're for automatic engage ones. You have the manual engage, so you don't worry about those. It is just these buttons that will turn things around. Then switch it off. In effect, literally just one of the green buttons, and that will switch off the motor mover. So once you are in place, you want to disengage everything. Handbrake back on. Manually disengage the motor mover. Put your leg steadies down. Always take the isolator key off, twist it, take it out. I leave mine in there, and then all set. Okay, as I said before, any questions, please do call us on 01373 752 100. And thank you for buying your caravan from Wiltshire Caravans.